no other way. Cause she's the best thing that happened to her. Oh, yeah. Whether she calls me in the morning or the middle of the day, whenever she calls me, I'm speeding, speeding to her. I'm 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 speeding to her. When she calls, I'm in traffic just speeding. Cause I'm already knowing what she's needing. Something that she can't get from no other. That's my baby, that's my baby, that's my girl. And tonight I'ma rock the world. Give it to her, first night of the life. I'm about to have her, whether she calls me in the morning, or whenever she calls me, whenever she calls, I'm speeding her way, speeding to her, 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 speeding till she comes in the morning, or the middle of the day. We don't mind time, baby, whenever she calls me, whenever you call me, I'm speeding your way. Speeding to you, speeding to her, 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 whoa, whoa, whoa.
Inside the 10, into the end zone for a touchdown. Fly ball well hit left. Soto going back, still going to the wall. Baby's out here.
I like that team so much more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Dragon Sports Live. Now, today's a special edition show because I have two guests, two homeboys of mine that, I met at the University of Chicago, and we have a basketball league that I'm a part of, and we'll talk about that in a second. I got Julian and Ryan in the building. Say hello to guys.
Howdy.
What's up?
Thanks for having us on here, Donte.
That's super cool.
Yes, my first set of guests. My girlfriend doesn't count because she's a media student like me. Yes, I'm talking about you, sweetie. But yeah, so to be my first guest on that, this is actually an honor for me too, because it's actually my first guest that I say I was going to be on the show. Like I told myself I was going to do guests this year. On top of that,
okay,
yeah, I've watched your first few episodes, and I was like, man, it'd be so great to get on there and chat with him, maybe talk a little bit of CBL. I'm happy we made it happen. It's really fun.
See, and that's why I said welcome. Yeah. Now, we did have some exciting things go down tonight. I mean, last night. Wow, tonight's going down too. But last night, NBA playoffs, basically, like, every game was a blowout to me, especially for the Nets, because the Nets and Sixers have been really getting into it, where they going at it, fighting each other, where whole teams fight each other, people getting knocked down. So it's like, it's been competitive, and the Nets got the boot last night.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Nets and the Sixers, you see them chirping at each other, but the Nets are kind of maybe outmatched a little bit personnel-wise. So it's curious to see them try to muddy up the series with a little bit of physicality, try to level the playing field a little bit.
And they also a young team. They really didn't have, I know Russell had playoffs experience. Well, no, not really, because the Lakers ain't been to the playoffs in the last 6 seasons, but you see a whole new Russell then compared to with the Lakers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He's leveled up completely this season. First All-Star appearance. He's lethal with the three-pointer off the dribble. It's the most important weapon in the league these days.
Both leads.
Yeah, both leagues.
both league. And then we also had like what was it? The next dang time, basically buzzer beat. Like, and if you watch that game, I thought that game was gonna go to overtime. Like I called overtime.
Yeah.
And then when you hit that buzzer beat, I was like, oh, there goes that game.
That was nuts. That was absolutely nuts with George on him like that.
And Paul George is not a short dude.
Yeah, no,
his arm span is 7 feet.
Yeah, he's a good defender too. He's like a quick guy.
DPOY candidate too. Like,
really?
Yeah, I mean, you would have him maybe over Embiid, maybe.
Oh,
I
would
think
put
he
him over
is.
Embiid.
I think he is because he's averaging like 3 steals a game, 26 points a game.
Oh, it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah. I mean, I hate Westbrook. So I loved seeing him lose like that, especially after he was talking so much the game before.
Well, Westbrook had a bad shooting night. It's basically like if you shut down your big three, which is Adams, Westbrook, and George, who else you got? Ferguson got to step up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But besides Ferguson, who else you got coming up?
Nerlens Noel. Yeah, but exactly. That you laugh because it's such a joke.
He's good on defense though. I do give him that. Like, I forgot he was still playing because last I remember he was with Dallas after the Sixers traded him. So it's like it's good to see he's still playing in the league. Yeah, I guess in all seriousness, you have Schroeder. He's been doing okay, but I think he was better at Atlanta.
Okay. Let's see. Like, what's always made me curious about the Thunder is for so long, especially in the post Kevin Durant era, is you have this personnel issue where you have Russ, who's a non-shooter, right? He even a typical night, he's not a good shooter. Surrounded with Adams, who can't shoot. George is a good shooter, but on the rest of that roster, who do you trust to buy a bucket and space the floor? Like, it seems like a pretty easy problem to solve, in that you can just go out on the market and sign a pretty cheap 3-and-D free agent that might just improve their team, even if the player himself isn't that good, just because of the construction of the roster.
Yeah, I think the Thunder is one of the teams that, like, their center doesn't shoot threes. So they one of the old school teams where their big men don't shoot threes. So it's like you can't really stretch the floor that way versus, like, you got the Sixers with Embiid shooting threes. You got Gasol shooting threes.
I mean, not only that, but what's his name? Steve Adams, he's got like nothing in his offensive game aside from that like little floater and from like finishing off a pick and roll. Like he can't do anything when you get it into him.
Stress the defense out, inside opens up.
But I mean, on the other end of the floor, the Thunder have been just like a terrifying menace throughout the entire season. On defense, those guys are animals. Adams is like an immovable brick wall.
Yeah.
George, we just talked about, fantastic defender. Those guys are all long, all athletic, right?
On the defensive side, but defense, you got to turn it into points though. Like defense wins games, but if you're not scoring on the other end,
right,
you won't. Like your defense has basically been wasted.
It's something I noticed is that the teams that have been successful in the playoffs thus far, throughout the regular season, had top tier offenses and average defenses, and the teams that are doing poorly in the playoffs had good defenses in the regular season and average offenses. I think the offensive end has been, clearly the more important one, at least in this season's playoffs.
Like CBL.
Speaking of CBL, we do got that coming up. It is 6:13. If you guys are tuning in on Facebook Live and YouTube and TuneIn app, so many different apps right now that you can actually catch this show on. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to talk about CBL and what's the importance of CBL, and how you can be a part of CBL. And we can break down like the current teams that we have coming on. And it's some exciting teams, so y'all laugh at the names, send in the chat. Hit me up on the live if y'all like some of the names of these teams. That's the best way to put that. But before I do, I like to support my local artists or unsigned artists, whichever one. And the best way to do that is by showcasing music. So here on Dragon Sports Live, I have Breaking Our Security by Asha Marie. Check it out here on Dragon Sports Live.
Serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They serve the God, Versace, Louis, and Marc Jacob. Trickster, serving the master slick stuff. Who trying to spit game in these games? So I say dash on them like Jay did. You lost one, not letting these lames hit. And with perversion, rather his sermons by Bacham, Piper, Mac, got the inspiration. Lust is a beast to be kept in cages. I don't twerk, but I dance like David. I deserve death, he deserves my praises. We flock like birds, yeah, we stay raving. Wings of the angels who cover their faces in the presence of God. Was holiness made Isaiah drop to his knees. Holy, holy, holy. Now the people sing. Started from the bottom, now we here. Undeserved wretches, Christ and brought near. No static with God, my charge has been clear. Now aligning my will with his good year to bring that word of peace to misfits. And even if they pull the heat from their hip, it's just a sin dog to where he is. Said it's just a sin dog to where he is. Yeah, I'm using my mouth like speakers to recruit soldiers for the master to I'm using my mouth like speakers to recruit soldiers for the master to being silent, walking in Inglewood, dudes slinging rocks, no Davids for Goliath. Sin this and tyrant, they tell me be quiet. Got me feeling like John on the island, the Patmos, exile living here, never afraid. His love cast out fear. Bullets fly in the shy, but we make rounds. UFOs dish it out, stumping ground. Step to the rhythm of this gospel. Salsa, serve it up to him on the plate. Salsa, be ahead or beheaded. We follow the lamb to the slaughter. Christians, you ready? Tell them heaven is a celebration. Don't miss out on the party, get the invitation. Come all ye, heavy laden, but you can't see, you be saving out of the darkness, but we glow. The hearts are hardened, but we know God created all stars, converse with the universe and redeemed us from the curse. We deserve no more chances, but only because of Christ we've been handed the right to become his sons and daughters. We share this gospel on every corner, because I'm screwed if you wasn't nailed to the cross I snooze. If I don't want to share with the lost, say this is a white man's religion, but he can make you colorblind when he restores vision. Causing the only hue that you see is red. That means your blood, body, your spirit was led to walk by faith and not by sight. So let me tune on my voice and use these pipes. I'm using my mouth like speakers to recruit soldiers for the master to I'm using my mouth like speakers to recruit soldiers for the master
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Yeah, yeah. We winning, we winning, we winning. We ballin' out of control. You can go check the notes. We started like oh. We winning, we winning, we winning. We can't believe that we did it. Now we got the keys to the city. We got the keys to the big commitment. We winning, we winning, we winning. We ballin' out of control. We gon' check the numbers. We started like oh. We winning, we winning. We can't believe that we did it. Now we got the keys to the city. My team, we ball out control. 200 mil, that's a goal. Come right here, play while I play. You might just get burned like coal. 35 G for a brick. Sell that whole thing up in nicks. Just set it 2,000 the numbers. My niggas just living hood rich. Niggas are steady, yo, homie. Anytime they see you winning, but really they plotting upon you. That's they go from the beginning. The streets just turn me to a hustler. Pockets that just be so muscular. I see that chopper, she on me. All my life I just might. Where I come from ain't no cuffing. Get your lights down for bluffing. 669th Street we stay busting. Ambulance boy, stay coming. Every day I'm in the jungle, but I taught myself how to be humble. I don't trust niggas that mumble. Them type of niggas that take you right under. All of my niggas the realest. I just don't fuck with new niggas, cause most of you niggas are snitches. We winning, we winning, we winning. We ballin' out of control. You can go check the notes. We started like oh. We winning, we winning, we winning. We can't believe that we did it. Now we got the keys to the city. We got the keys to the commitment. We winning, we winning, we winning. We ballin' out of control. We go check the numbers. We started like oh. We winning, we winning, we winning. We can't believe that we did it. Now we Before we finna go check on me. Plus I get straight to that money. You see me chasing my racks. I'm flexing my million stars. No, I don't know nothing about that. Who all I smoke is that pack. Eagle Wood got my back. We the ice in the city. I'm a young nigga strap. Side rock, we on the map. It's going down like the purge. Loud pack, see you with it, nigga. I just caught the quarter bird. I'm in the club with the rollie on me. I'm rolling, homie, I got 40 on me. Bitches looking, yeah, I know they on me. Snitches looking, wanna tell it on me. Niggas tweaking, but I mean still. Getting money, I don't need a deal. Flash, stay 100, keep it real. Got them bands, nigga trying to see a meal. Taking over like LeBron James. Move around, you clear the lane. Then make it rain. Real nigga, I don't f with lanes. Told y'all niggas we winning. Told y'all niggas we winning. We ballin' out of control. Look at my squad, we winning. Told y'all niggas we winning. Told y'all niggas we winning. We ballin' out of control. Look at my squad, we winning. We winning, we winning, we winning.
Chicagoland Sports Radio is your home for all the latest Chicago sports news. CSR is not only the home to the most entertaining and informative shows in Chicago, but covers all of the top college and high school games as well. Big guests and bigger personalities. This is your home for the greatest debates in sports, broadcasting live from State Street and the South Loop. For all of the news, analysts, and interviews to keep you informed, log on to ChicagolandSportsRadio.com to listen live. Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Lights, camera, action. Hey there, I'm Donte Payne. I am the founder and CEO of Dragon Jump Productions. Dragon Jump Productions specializes in media production based in Chicago. We offer services in graphic design, photography, as well as videography. We also work with models as well. So if you got an idea for a photo shoot or you need to be branded, let us help you make your brand. Dragon Jump Productions will claw their way into stardom by making you look great. So if you want to book that next photo shoot with Dragon Jump Productions, reach out to dragonjumppro@gmail.com or call 773-892-4514. Again, that's dragonjumppro@gmail.com or call 773-892-4514. Let us take you and make you great. Look now at Dragon Jump Productions. What you doing? Don't eat that sandwich during the game.
Why not?
That sandwich is cursing unsportsmanlike. It will cause the Sox to lose.
What do you mean?
Sandwiches is not a sports food to eat.
Huh? Then what should I eat?
Get yourself some boneless wings from Buffalo Wild Wings. You have the choice from sweet to blazing sauce. When you eat Buffalo Wild Wings, you can make any team you support win.
Really now?
Try these spicy wings from Buffalo Wild Wings and watch the Sox win. Now watch and be amazed of what happens.
B.Rae charges close. Out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
Those are really tasty. And the Sox really did win.
Yep. See? Told you. Best way to do it is with Buffalo Wild Wings. Can't go wrong with wings. The best sports food in the world. Stop at your local store or go into your local Buffalo Wild Wings. Grab your boneless wings today. Anytime, anywhere, any place. Get the Buffalo Wild Wings and be amazed at what happens.
You tune in to the hottest show for music and sports talk. This is Dragon Sports Live.
Welcome back to Dragon Sports Live. I am Donte Payne, here alongside with Julian and Ryan. And we, like I said, we got that CBL, which stands for Chicago Basketball League. But I'm going to let these guys explain it. And then we're going to get in more in depth to it.
All right. So I'm Julian. I'm the commissioner of CBL. CBL's been going on for like 10 years, I'd say. It's kind of the origins of the league are lost in myth, or somebody knows them, not us.
So I think maybe back around 2006, there was this really big biweekly pickup game that would happen at one of the gyms at UChicago, right? And then over time, it kind of developed into this more organized league that is still running today, right? 12 years later.
So now we play at the lab schools at the University of Chicago, not the official school gyms, and anybody can get into them. So our league isn't just university students. It's a combination of undergrads, grad students,
community.
People from community, people from downtown. We've got some UCPD officers.
Yeah, and that's like really the appeal of the league is that, for example, in intramurals within the university, you're just going to be playing against people you already know, right? But in this league, in this setting, you're going to make friends with and play basketball against people that you otherwise would have never met.
You don't know until you see them.
Yeah,
it's a good chance to branch out, make friendships you wouldn't have otherwise gotten to make.
Well, it makes me the grandfather of CBL. Jeez.
How long have you been in the league, Donte?
I've been in the CBL since 2012.
Oh wow! So you, yeah, wow.
Like every time CBL came, like I looked at my closet yesterday. Was doing some spring cleaning. I had my last year's jersey with the high pink.
Okay. Oh yeah, that was the first one.
I had the orange which we got last year. Then I had like the CBL T-shirt, the red claws, the hoodie, and then the purple jersey that I had got.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, you've been playing.
So when you were playing in 2012, like was Marshall playing then? Who was the best players in the league?
It was Marshall, who was one of the best. Jordan Van.
Okay.
James McGee, who like y'all haven't really seen him. Marcus Board.
Okay. Yep.
Then we had like Jeremiah.
Jeremiah was like really good then, right?
Yeah, he was good. Like he was still doing the same thing, going to the post, but he can actually shoot.
Okay.
We love you, Jeremiah.
No offense to you, Jeremiah, but yeah, he was being a post player, being dominant post, grabbing boards. Let's see, there's one more person that I can think.
Was LT playing back then?
Maybe Torrance.
Torrance came probably like last 3 years.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But those are just like the name of a few players that was there, and it was like the teams was pretty stacked, pretty even. Oh, Chris Tolburn was a person too, but that was the team I was on. Then we also had Dan Lee.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to not have Jeremiah in the league after having him as such a mainstay over the last few years, and I hope he's doing well in Detroit. But just hearing about how long you've been in the league and the players you've played with, who do you think is the best teammate you've had in the league last 7 years? Would you say?
I would say Raph, because I've been on his team the last 2, but it's basically like any team that, they see my talents for what it's worth. Because I'm not the best player, but I am a good hustle player.
Yeah, I love that play last night where you forced Kevin to turn it over. You got up on him.
Got Kevin McCoy.
Yeah. It's probably like on my CBL like highlights of all time greatest CBL moments. Kevin's like takes it up across half court. Donte like rushes up on him. Kevin goes back court, and it's a turnover. It was spicy. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was able to call. I had to call that with the quiz because I was like, the thing with Kevin is Kevin's a great player, but you have to know his moves. So Bambi, like when we play all the time at Ratner, he's like he hesitate. You like he doing the double hesitate. He's about to shoot.
Yeah.
I rather for him to drive and try to make him force him to miss because he's good at layups, but sometimes he be missing layups. So it's like,
yeah, I've seen him miss a few. I've also seen him make some nice ones.
He's got that the super complicated layup package. You can do all the twirls and the spins off the board. Kind of finishes a little bit like Kyrie at the rim almost.
Right. That was my mindset with, make him go back court. Like, because I knew that we was calling it. So I'm like, yeah, it's a dirty move on my part, but it was smart at the same time.
Yeah, it's all about having the IQ.
Because he can blow past me at any time, but it's like I can stay with him because, like I said, we play a while, but if you know his moves, but it's like I'm not gonna let you blow past me. I'm gonna force you back.
Right.
What do you guys think about that squad with Kevin McCoy, Elias, Jack Atkins, Panos, those guys? You think they're gonna be able to keep up the record, make some noise this year?
Because when we was playing yesterday, it's just like I was only noticing really 2 scores, Kevin and Lil Ray.
Lil Ray, Eli wasn't getting buckets.
He played well. He had like 12 points. I saw him hit a few threes. So
he was quiet though.
Hit 2 threes. Yeah, I think he was having trouble getting to the basket that game. I've seen him drive well when I played with him at Ratner, but I think he's been having a little bit more trouble in CBL of just like ripping and going by his man and getting to the basket.
There's a learning curve coming into the CBL, especially from Ratner pickup, just because of how physical the game is. People are hacking at your arms as you're driving into the paint.
That's why I don't drive. I stay outside.
I've heard many people say that.
Which is, why shooting guards obviously shooting guards, but guards that can shoot threes off the dribble like Kevin are so valuable. Right?
Yeah.
They don't even have to. It's not a necessity to venture into the paint where all the sharks are looming.
It's the also shooting off the dribble part, because there's never very good like team basketball movement. Like, no, that's the case. Generally not. So having somebody who can just like score when you need to score, especially since the league is, for those that don't know, although I don't imagine. Yeah, so I guess for those that don't know, we played a 50, and so we don't cap based on time. We cap based on score. So you need a bucket sometimes.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Donte?
No, I was like, speaking of team, we have one of the best teams playing. Ooh, we played on tomorrow.
Who are you playing?
Steve's team.
Oh,
those guys are good.
That might be one of the best CBL teams I've ever seen. I've been in the league for 4 years.
I'm calling that team steroid stack.
Have you seen a team better than them ever?
I have. That's the point. I haven't I see a team where it's usually like 2 or 3 guys that's your main scorers, and you have a bunch of role players. You can sub out the whole starting 5, and the secondary 5 will just come in and continue where they left off.
Right. They got great role players. I think their top 3 or 4 guys also all play really well together. That's like, what is it? The sum of the whole is greater than the sum of the parts in that case, very much.
Yeah. So they've got from the top down in order in the draft, they had Torrance Walton number 1, Ben Glover number 2, Quentin Harris number 3, and Steve Ballin number 4. With Torrance
himself 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the board votes on where he takes himself, but like as with Torrance and Steve in a front court, both of them are skilled and they can shoot. They like shooting. So with Ben and Quentin as slashers go downhill, the team dynamic there is sort of inverted, and it works really well for them to get out in transition and look for trailers.
Well, and you got the trailer passer champion Ben, because anytime there's somebody's breaking out and you're down the court by yourself, Ben will throw that ball to you.
Yeah, he likes looking up to throw those passes.
Leading the league in assists, I think, at about 8 per game, which is...
Are you really?
8 per game?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
That's a lot.
It's like video game numbers for the CBL. Considering the games only go to 50, right? 8 assists on 50 points. They haven't lost yet, so of course they're always scoring 50. Is quite a bit. I don't know if I've seen an average higher than that in assists in the CBL since we started tracking them.
I think I've seen 10 assists, but not averaging that.
Consistently 8.
Consistently averaging.
I think the most I've seen was 6.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm taking stats too. Because before we got my stat online, we had the book.
Yeah. I remember doing that and like entering on the website and stuff.
Yeah, we had the book.
I almost think that was easier to stat track, but then you had somebody who had to spend an hour the evening, copying spreadsheets.
Some poor new board member would get stuck with the task of taking home 24 or 12 spreadsheets, I guess.
Yeah,
that had just 5 stats times 10 players number of tally boxes on it, just with little marks in each one. You had to enter 0, 1, 0, 0, 12, 3, 9. It would take hours and hours to finish. I'm glad that we have this new system. It's been cool to use, a little bit easier to manage.
No, I just wish they updated slightly. Just like I told you, my issue with that is more like, instead of having you to click both teams, have both teams up on the screen, especially if you got it on your laptop. It's like it goes on one side, just have them both up.
Yeah. I actually think that would be a pretty good design update. So the passerby are listening to us talk. It's pretty funny to watch them turn their heads.
That's what I said. It's live stream through outstate, so it's like our miniature version of ESPN. Like we can even speak to it, and they will wave to it. Sometimes we'll get fans to just speak their heads in here.
That's sweet.
That's
like
cool.
It's funny, and it's funny because I have seen one of the CBL players, and they seen me, and it was like, Donte! And
Who was it?
I think it was Jeremy Coffey, who was like, I think before you got.
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
That's cool though.
But, so with the season being halfway over, we hit our halfway point last night. Just for this season only, I know I just asked you about your favorite teammates of all time, best teammates of all time, but where would you put the league MVP this year? Who do you think takes it?
Oh, that's kind of tricky. So
at least thus far. I mean, things can change in the second half of the season.
Definitely got Kevin up in that mix. You got, of course, you're gonna have Raph in that mix too, like just what he thinks he's doing.
He plays a complete game. He fills up the whole stat sheet, man.
Newcomers, Justin and Ezra, like Ezra yesterday was basically taking over the game. Like, hey, let's move this ball around. Let's shoot. Like, just like it's like a bunch of newcomers. Who is it? On Kendall's team, Steve
Nielsen.
Yeah,
Nielsen?
he's a good player.
He kind of surprised. Like he's a both MVP and surprise player because watching him, like a lot of these players I ref during intramurals when I was refing. So it's like, I'm like, where was this at in y'all intramural league? And then it's like, see it in a whole different person in CBL.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like in the draft, I had him rated, I think, number 6 or 7 overall. I was so surprised when he fell. I think he fell to the 14th pick. For Kendall to get both Ezra and Steve, guys who I think can carry a team on their own together, it's really great team construction there, especially after he made the move for Colin Nguyen to add some shooting. I think that opened up a lot for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think personally in terms of MVP, though, I'm got to go with Matthew.
Yeah, that's what I was
talking
like Matthew Martinez.
And I just got to throw Chesko into the conversation.
I mean,
he's been playing great the past 3 games, carrying our medium team to some close losses, all losses. He's like, he hasn't been missing.
If we're going to shout out our guys, I need to put Noah Karas's name into the ring. I think he hasn't had a great shooting outing the last couple of nights, but he keeps his level.
He's been.
And then the first 2 games of the season, when he's playing at his level, he's flames. I don't think we've even seen him at his peak yet. That dude has like an explosion waiting at him.
He set this like 3-point record on the men's team at the school, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But like I think like when he gets in his groove in the CBL, it's gonna get really ugly for everyone else, especially with the rest of my personnel being pretty hard to match up with. I think we can leverage those mismatches in ways that can kind of like take pressure off of him and get him easier looks going forward.
Right.
Not a newcomer.
But see, here's a couple names that we haven't brought up yet. I mean, I'm obviously pretty Noah-centric given that he was my first pick and he's on my team. But here's the 2 guys we haven't brought up yet that I think both have potential to actually win the MVP, other than Matt, is Brennan McDaniel.
Torrance
is a good candidate, but the one I was thinking of is Dean Arnold.
Oh, Dean.
Dean.
Those are 2 really good picks. Brennan played amazing last night. He can shoot. He's also just like makes such good decisions in terms of like when to cut in, where to be on the floor. He's a great player.
Yeah, he can do so much different stuff. He was hitting 3s off the dribble last night. I didn't even know he had that in his game. He was in a biology class that I helped teach, and he got an A in it. That dude's just like, he's good at everything.
Doing it all.
Hey, you got to be – that's the best way to survive in this damn world. You have to be multi-versatile. Like, that's why I say I can score when I can if given a chance to, but I'm going to focus on everything else.
Yeah. For Brennan to be able to score and do everything else.
Yeah, he can pass well, too.
Yeah.
He's a very good passer.
And when the game's on the line, he like that post-up floater he did one game when they won.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was nice. So Dean's season thus far, I thought he had a really great year last season, and he had an argument to be made for MVP, even though it was clearly Chesko's award last year, right? But see, this year, I didn't know Dean had this extra gear he could take it up to.
He can drive and he can pass the ball really well.
He's a great passer, yeah.
He moves and then he scores a will. Like when we played against him, he would just score like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah, he's very dynamic. He's got that nice drive, and then to the pull-up jumper, he can really elevate. So he does that pretty easily, or just finishing at the basket. He's got Joe to dish it to as well.
Dean is, I think, an underrated defender as well. He can protect the rim on the help side.
Yeah. And he can get up.
Yeah. There was the first time I ever played against Dean in pickup at Ratner. He like pinned my shot up on the board. And that was back when I could jump.
So he did that to me a couple months ago.
Yeah. So other than that, I think right now Matt Martinez is definitely making the strongest argument, though. He is the reigning player of the week, and there's plenty of time left in the season, but his scoring output has been ridiculous.
Last week he dropped 20 and then 32.
Yeah.
Isn't that the second highest?
Yeah, that was the game against you guys that he dropped the 32,
he did,
right?
He shot 6 straight threes. Like everything he was shooting was just basically 3-pointer. And I'm sitting here on the sideline looking, I'm like, wait, they only got 5 guys. Let's
yeah.
And it was like Matt put the team on his back.
Yeah.
That game.
Yeah, I mean, people know him as a 3-point shooter, but he's a great passer. He can get to the basket well too. Like you see the 3-point shooting a lot because he's so good at it. But I think he's a much more dynamic player than people give him credit for.
He can drive too.
Yeah.
He can dish pretty well. And it's just like watching his intramural team, watching like playing with him at Ratner too.
Yeah.
So it's versatile, and Dean same way.
He's Matt Martinez in particular is not even at full strength right now. He's a little bit hobbled. That's a little known secret.
Oh,
Sprained his
interesting.
ankle.
Yeah, you're just putting on live on Facebook. YouTube.
Matt Martinez, you are not healthy. Join the club.
100%. He's not 100%. He about 80, 90.
I'm about 40% right now. We'll see how it goes. But the other thing I wanted to ask you guys about this particular MVP debate, we spent a long time on it, but this is, I think, probably our last bit, is from ARC strategy, right? You always hear best player on the best team as the argument for MVP, right? Which player from ARC strategy do you think would be the MVP if they had the MVP?
Ben. I think without a doubt it's Ben.
I think it would be probably – actually, I think it would be torn between Ben and Torrance. When Torrance, like if Torrance played, what was that, 2 weeks ago, how he came late and just started scoring. I'm like, okay.
That's the thing. He comes in, he like barely can make the games on time. So he'll walk in, it's like 10 points into the game in street clothes, cold, and just start nailing threes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, he's great. I just think like Ben is the driver between that, like for that team to be successful. Like he's the one that's getting the ball to like Quentin on the wing to Torrance. He's throwing those long passes.
About Quentin
I think
he's an underrated player. He's like unexpected.
No, he's a great player. I just think though that like if you imagine taking one of their best players off of that team, and like how much worse is that team going to get? It's going to get the most worse when you take Ben off, and so that's
he's the regulator.
Yeah.
What's his name on Spotify? Black Sam with V's instead of A's. We should do him.
Black Sam. Yeah. I'm actually gonna have his music on my show. Like I have to edit it down, but I will have his music on my show, and you can get his stuff on Spotify. Follow him on SoundCloud and iTunes as well.
Yeah, Blavux of them.
I was just about to say
that.
He
just dropped a song. It's called Catfish. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Catfish. And
it's very white of me to say this rap song is pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, it's music. But everybody appreciates good music.
Yeah,
what if it's rock? Like I like rock. I like rap. I like all types of music except country.
I can't really get down with country either.
No comment.
Hey, everybody has their own.
Yeah. What was I going to say about? I forgot what I was going to say about ARC strategy. I had something. But
what about other awards aside from MVP? There's like defensive player.
Oh, absolutely.
Then we got like the great CBL ones, like best hair, trash talk.
Sportsmanship, which
there's a
should be
sportsmanship.
me in that.
Honestly, you're pretty far ahead in that one. I think
I'm gonna nominate myself for sportsmanship after my nice little outburst last night.
I think I should nominate myself a sportsmanship player because I don't have outbursts and I don't call fouls either, and I get beat up out there sometimes.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
With defensive player, there's a lot of different names you could talk about. Obviously, you were mentioning earlier Raph.
I think Raph is a good.
I think he's like the lead, just like looking at stats. Not even because I'm on the same team as him, just like looking at stats. Like the first game, the man had 10 blocks. And like
that's nuts.
10.
It was like 8 or 9 blocks.
Wait, I stat tracked
against Justin's team.
I stat tracked that game.
Against Justin's team. He went.
We played Justin's team first game.
The second game.
Yeah.
The second game where I'm just sitting on the sideline. I'm like, oh wow, he got Justin on lockdown. Block. And just like I know you could jump. Basically,
he gets up high, but also like his ability to just like go from standing to jumping up. He can do that really quickly. I've not seen many guys that have that like
versatility,
or just like explosiveness.
His timing is also perfect.
Yeah, he's a smart player.
You'll see him like doing some really smart small things to gain an advantage on defense. Like he'll jump with the opposite hand of the shooter, so that like if there's a right-handed shooter, he'll jump with his left hand to get in their face better. Right?
Yeah,
little tricks like that.
I didn't even notice that until you just said it. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
I'm like, you do that.
Yeah, it's stuff that's hard to pick. I'm sure he's doing all sorts of stuff that I don't even notice, right? But like, it's just like the tip of the iceberg.
Other names that come to, I guess, Teo's a good defender. He's versatile. Tamarcus is a great defender. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's been like the steel prince right now. Like, especially in close games, tight situations where, like, you need a bucket to get ahead type thing. He's been on that. He also has been low key grabbing boards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not as a DPOY candidate, but I do want to just give a mention to my guy, Jordan Kemp, who we usually use him to switch on to the hot hand in the second half. And he does a good job cooling guys off, especially star players, first rounders, that kind of stuff.
Oh, interesting.
He picked up a hot Dom and got him to cool off a little bit. He's cooled down a hot Ezra too. It's like the dude's got some skills.
But you ain't gotta have defensive sacks to be a good defensive player of the year. You can, or if you stopping them, making them miss, like if you think about it, the stat like that, like when this person guards this person, he's 0 for 6, or he hasn't had a shot. So I do give Jordan that like that if you think about it that way.
Oh, absolutely.
That'd be a cool statistic to compute.
I wish we had advanced stats in the season.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. But
we can always add it.
Yeah,
we need to have like
that's up to the next generation.
Yeah. But the other the aspect of DPOY is like, which guy do you least want to guard you? And that's why I was thinking of Jordan in particular, maybe Will from my team too, is they're just big guys that are also really quick. They can move their feet, stay in front, push you out of place. I think Raph is honestly the guy I'd least want to guard me, because he's locked down all the time.
I think Ben is a very good defender too. When you're talking, Glover. I think when you're talking about combinations of like strength, speed, and quickness,
and Ben timing and smarts.
Ben is strong. Like the guys that you're like mentioning.
Ben is thick. let's not understate that.
Yeah, I mean,
Ben
right.
Some thickness to
but right, the guys that you're mentioning, like I'm a pretty big guy. I could probably back down.
You're
a fair
tall,
number
but
of them.
you're like 200 pounds soaking wet. You're not like that big.
I'm 200. I'm strong.
Oh, last year I was heavier than you actually. I think.
I won't even know how much I weigh. I'm 197.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's harder for me to do that against Ben than those other guys.
I also think Matt's a pretty good defensive player though.
Who?
Matt Martinez.
He is. He's a good defender.
You don't see it when you look at him, because he looks like he hasn't eaten in about 4 months. But like in the exhibition games, he was guarding Justin Jackson, and he was actually giving him a little bit of trouble. Justin Jackson's crazy athletic, right? So you wouldn't expect that from Matt, but he can turn it on.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for one of them to just let loose on the rim. Like,
oh yeah. Would you guys think of like an interior rim protector like Lewis, for example, the 6'9" player from Matt's team, as a DPOY candidate, just because of like the deterrence at the goal?
He's a good shot blocker.
I'll give him that too. I almost put Mason in there, but Mason is more of my surprise player.
Mason Mackle?
Yeah.
I thought he had a really great first couple weeks, but I think he's cooled off a little bit. Has he turned it on once he got traded to Arc Strategy?
Well, I didn't know that trade happened.
He barely played when we played against him.
Yeah. I just know when Kendall was like, don't shoot, he shot and went crazy and was just hitting threes.
The first game, I think, Kendall was missing a lot of his star players, and Mason came out there and just had himself a night.
And I was stat tracking for that game too, so it was like, all I remember Kendall was saying, Mason, don't shoot threes. Wait, dude, first basket, 3-pointer, net. And then he was like, all right, forget it. Mason, shoot three.
I can totally see Kendall doing that.
Kendall adjusts on the fly. That's it. He's adaptable. I wish Kendall could have come. It would have been fun to have him out here. I invited him, but maybe we'll get him out some different time.
Yeah, probably a more exciting personality than myself.
No, because what it is like, it's your first, knowing that it's live.
Yeah. And
this happens to everybody. Like, my first show here, I was running over my topics. Like, I had everything, but I was just like going.
Right.
You're going to get nervous it's just like, once you get used to it, though, it just go out like clockwork. Like, hey, I was live, knowing people. Yeah. All it is like we're having conversation about it, talking about the Chicago Basketball League, and that's the best way to look at it.
Right. Anything else any other aspects of the league? Do we want to try to do best hair?
No, we're not doing best hair.
We're not doing best hair. I mean, that is a perennial reward. What?
We got best trash talker.
Best trash. I mean, I'm sure Rose is going to want his name in the conversation.
See, that's the thing with Rose, is he wants the recognition so bad that he'll trash talk, not because he wants to trash talk, but because he wants an award. Right?
Yeah.
Rose, he's competitive. That's the best thing I can say. He's very competitive. So like, if he's gonna go for the best trash, he's gonna trash talk just cause, and then come podcast and like, no hard feelings. I'm trying to get this award.
Yeah, no, he used some of my signature trash talk against me last night. I don't think I can say what he said because who
we
knows where this is going to end up on the internet.
we won't see it if it was that like that.
It was
good though. It was well played.
But Rosa also kind of a cutie. Honestly, I would put him in the running for best hair. He's got a cute little mop top.
Hey, he needs to cut that shit off like fast.
If you guys were, I mean, you're a GM and your team wasn't very good. Well, you were a GM.
I was a
GM.
GM.
And your team wasn't very good.
Process,
so I don't know
baby.
if your opinion's the best one here. But Donte,
okay,
if you were a GM, who would you want to take as your number 1 and number 2 overall picks? Who do you want to put together, pair up as a duo, try to take on the lead?
See, if I would, because I thought about becoming a GM, I'm gonna take players
I think you'd be a good one, honestly.
That know my skill set. Like, I'm not gonna even start myself, but I'm gonna take players like, hey, you're tired, come take a break. I'm good. No, you're huffing and puffing. Like,
yeah,
I'm an observant player, so I'm gonna take players like Ben, who will pass the ball. I'll take Torrance. I'll take Matt. Like, I'll take Julian because you're good on boards. Like you don't realize how much, like, in our game against us, you was grabbing a lot of boards.
Like, wipe that smirk off your face, Riley.
I'm not laughing at your rebounding numbers this year. I'm just laughing because I'm like, construct your ideal CBL team, and he just starts naming Steve Balla's guys right down the board.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, I was gonna say I got you, but I'm just saying those just 2 of those guys.
Yeah.
I'll take Raph. And I'll take Andre too when he's not playing lazy, because sometimes Andre does play lazy.
Yeah,
okay.
the Raph Andre like kind of bromance that's been going on for the last couple of years has been really interesting to me because Raph in the draft,
he said, "You know who I'm taking."
You know who I'm taking, basically. Like when we're doing the draft, we have a pretty good idea. The draft is really fun for those of you that don't know. We get the all the GMs and the board members together in kind of a war room in a big lecture hall, and we have a giant screen, and we like all bring food, and we just talk trash about each other for like 2 hours. It's really fun, but we all have a pretty good idea of like where everyone's going to get drafted and what their values are. And so Raph drafted all his guys about 1 round above where you would expect them. So he knew they would be on the board. And he just rode with the guys that he knows, right?
I think that's fun.
Chris.
Like
fun.
These guys have been friends for a long time. It's kind of cool.
When they play together, they play cohesively and they play hard together.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they've got
as
each
a
other's
team.
backs always. It's cool.
Yeah, it's like basically what it is with our team. It's the same team from last year. We just added new additions. Like we got Mike this year. We got AC this year.
Bell's been crazy.
Bell this year. Like he was trying to trade for Bell last year. I remember that. And then we also got Josh this year. And like Josh is one of those players. He like I said, like we know like what our roles is and what we can do. Josh was like, I would sit on the bench and just cheer on. Like I'll get in for a little bit, but I'm coming right back out.
Yeah.
He's one of those players. Like he know what his worth is.
Right.
Me, I'm more like I know what my worth is, but if we're on the roll or if they more like we need scoring, I'm gonna stay on the bench.
Right.
Yeah.
Having good bench players is a huge part of the CBL. I think people get really wrapped up on like who your top 3 or 4 picks are, but like picks like 6 through 10 can have a big impact on your team.
And it's how you use them.
Yeah.
Especially with 2 guys, I think in they got picked up and with picks later than they should have. Guys that have really surprised the league a lot. Ba on your team. Ba's been so good.
When he's not letting, so the thing with him is you got to let he got to just go out and ball. Like when he plays hard, like how he did the first 2 games, he's unstoppable and he's a good player.
In that game against us earlier in the season, I think he was in his own head a little bit. He was passing up open shots. But the opening night game when I tracked for you guys against the A team, Jameson's team, he was in his bag. You know his ceiling's really high and he can get buckets. I like him a lot. I would have him, if he keeps it up and like kind of gains confidence in his shot, keeps confidence level high, I would have him as a surprise player of the year candidate.
Okay. What about you, Riley? Who are you taking as your top 2?
Well, you know, I mean, I did. I took Noah Harris. Noah Harris is my guy. And then, honestly, my team with Will and Jordan, those 2 guys, I value them equally. I think they're both great players. They contribute sort of similar things on offense in that they can both shoot, dribble. They're kind of multi-tool players that have a lot of size and create mismatches. So you can't force me to pick between them. If I had unlimited draft potential, I think a really crazy tandem would be Dean and Brennan. That would be lethal.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be able to draft that, but that would be really good.
Yeah.
I would say, has it been a draft shutdown? Like, no, you cannot get that pick.
No.
No, because there's 12 teams, and that's enough that, like, if someone gets missed, eventually someone will come back around on the snake draft and pick them up. Right?
Yeah.
Because I'll show when I seen Brennan, Max, and them, and I'm like, no, y'all can't be on the same team.
I was wondering if that was going to happen.
The closest thing I've seen to that actually was 2 years ago on the Monarchs when Mike Parks drafted Raph for the first time. He got
Darian, that was good.
No one knew how good Darian was going to be, but if we did, he wouldn't have fallen that far.
Yeah.
I wish Darian was still in the league. It was fun having him out for that one season.
Yeah, some nice dunks.
Well, I know a lot of the plays, like I said, we can get refs. They'll come back, but like I said, that's a work in progress. Like you have to build on that. But that will honestly bring a lot of players back.
No, I did make fun of you, but if you got another chance to run Trust the Process back, your team from last year, unlimited draft potential, who you're taking?
All right. So I'm taking Matthew with my first pick, taking myself with my second pick, and I'm not sure what else I'm doing. I think I would bring back a fair number of the folks from TTP.
It's proven that doesn't work. What are you doing, Julian?
I mean, I think with Matthew that makes a big difference. I had a ton of fun playing with Broner. I think he's a great passer. I think he's underrated. And I saw him play really well last week. He scored, which was not something that he was doing last year, although not for lack of trying.
Yeah,
I scored this year too, though.
I think I would take Mike Okery with a third-round pick. We missed that pick on our team this year. He was around and just forgot about him. He's a great player, great defender, really dynamic skill set.
Were you planning on taking him in the fourth if you could?
Yeah, he was picked one round before us. I just totally forgot.
See, before the draft, you kept repeating to me, like, Mike Okery is good, but he's not the first rounder he was when we were playing a few years ago. And so you just kept saying the word fourth rounder to me, and I figured, well, that's where he's going to get taken.
I don't think I was ever saying.
You did several times, actually.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I would have preferred if I had known he was around, I would have mentioned that to Francesco. But he's not as good as he was a few years ago, though. He's still good.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I want to qualify again that the Dean and Brennan's thing was a fun hypothetical, and I'm taking Noah first if I can.
You're taking Noah. Okay, who are you? And and then you're just pairing him with the guys.
I wouldn't change anything about my draft.
Even though the 3 and 4 record, you can make fun of trust the process.
Yeah, I can make fun of trust the process. I think I trust my guys to figure it out, and I got to step it up as a GM and get my guys playing a little bit more together. I think we have good pieces.
GMing is hard. It's hard to do well.
It's hard, and it's especially like if you're in the game, because that's why I don't even trip with Raph, because he got a team so well dynamic. If y'all notice, if we don't say nothing, we're in a full team ball movement, balling thing. Like nobody's getting our head, and I feel like we got that chance to beat Steven and them, Ben and them.
When are you guys playing them?
I think we played them this Thursday.
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys got it coming up.
Is that a 7 or 8 o'clock game?
8 o'clock.
Okay. Hopefully I'm stat tracking because I'm playing at 7 tomorrow.
But yeah, I think we'll be able to beat them because they're still undefeated right now.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to beat them, it might be you guys because you guys are just really tough to beat and you're in basically every game, even if you're not playing well.
Yeah. I was so worried we were going to have to cap your game.
That's why I was like, no, we got this.
I was hyped when Raph hit that 3.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get him warm up in my net.
Yeah, you hit as soon as he hit 3, bang!
Yeah. And I was out of there.
But it happens. That's why like our team. That's why like I like the team. Like I liked it last year and I like it this year because I had more boards and points than last year.
Okay.
But I also had steals and boards last year.
Right.
Versus this year, I'm gonna try to add more. Like I'm adding the same stats, but I'm scoring a little bit more this year.
Yeah, and you got that amazing defensive play on Kevin.
That's gonna be my. I'm gonna mess with Kevin for the next.
You
2
should,
weeks.
yeah.
You should write it out longer than 2 weeks, man. Write that one out lifetime. Never let him live that down.
I would hold that over the head.
It's good a couple times, like because I'll get in Kevin's head. Just remember, because I remember last year I got that steal on Kevin though too.
Dude. It's an annual tradition. You got to rip Kevin every time you see him.
That's why I'm like, it's like he'd be like, "Oh, I'm finna blow Pat." No, I'm gonna get steals. It's like you may be better than me, but the more I keep playing you, I'm gonna get better. And that's how I look at it. I try to get better than the last time that we met.
No, you always got to play against people who are better than you.
Which will make you 2 times better.
That's why Pat likes playing with me.
We see so there's something I like to do at the end of each season, which is take the numbers and kind of crunch them out and arrange players, like all the players in the league based on how they grade out in each metric. And I remember 2 years ago I was looking at your stats, because your assists and steals versus your turnovers, the ratio, like obviously you didn't have like a ton of stats because you were coming off the bench, but the ratio and the decision making it showed was really positive, right? You were adding a lot of value to your team in the minutes you were playing.
It's probably never had a 10 turnover game. No comment.
Julian's famous for his triple-double turnovers. Yeah,
I might also throw out the 16 points and 20 rebounds
over a whole season.
No, that was one game. That's me this year. That's probably what I have this year.
I would say as far as points on the season, right? I think I'm at like 10. Maybe.
I'm also at about 10. I'm off the bench for my own team.
It's just because I know
GM must really hate you.
Oh, dude, my GM hates my guts. I hate that guy. Dude, he sucks.
Yeah. Is that Riley player or Riley talking, or Riley the player, or Riley the GM?
Oh, that's
talking?
Riley.
That's just Riley, like both of them.
Yeah, they're mad at each other right now. And you guys got any playoff predictions? You think Arc Strategy is going to carry it all the way out?
I got a feeling Arc Strategy is definitely going to be in the playoff. But as like I always say, playoffs is a whole different ball grade. So it's like when the playoffs start, ask me like that first week of playoffs, and I'll let you know. Like,
yeah, I could see them making it deep. After that, though, I think it's really going to be a toss up.
Ghost, I think, has established themselves. At least for now, is a very clear second best.
Yeah, no, that's a good team. Yeah, and then after that, there's just like I think Joe's team. Joe and Dean, I could see them playing well, but that team really depends on Ben and Tim getting hot and on Joe getting hot. Like Dean's good, but he needs the scoring from those other guys to back him up. And I think they've been doing that decently consistently, but they could do it a little bit more.
There's a perception that they were kind of rising over the last couple weeks because they won a few in a row. But I want to see them get a win over like a top tier team before we really anoint them as contenders, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Donte, we running out of time?
Yep, just hit time-wise, but last comments for you guys?
I mean, appreciate it so much having us out here. It's been super fun. I feel like I'm a real-life sportscaster.
Yeah, no, thank you.
That's the whole benefit of it.
I've always wanted to be a diva.
I'm done. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, catch y'all next Wednesday at 6 p.m. here on the Chicagoland Sports Radio. I'm Donte Payne. I was joined by Julian and Riley. But if y'all want to come out tomorrow, come out to the lab school and watch us play in this Chicago Basketball League, which is what CBL stands for. And watch me get buckets because I feel like it's going to be a good game for me tomorrow.
Absolutely.
My soreness going away, my muscle soreness.
Okay.
So it should be a good game. So catch y'all guys next week. Peace out.
Peace. Take care. Nice.
Here's what 670 The Scores, Mark Brody had to say about our Cubs.
If I'm grading the Cubs, and they're graded on a higher scale, I'd say about a C+ right now. Starting pitching has been a little bit uneven, and mostly because of Yu Darvish. But it would appear that they are on track to upping that grade a little bit as we speak.
You don't want to miss next week's episode, so tune in every Thursday from 12 to 2 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Nothing moves the blob. We got fake news. We got clickbait.